Hello, everyone, and welcome to D&D News. I'm Greg Tito. How are you this fine day? I am ready to rock. I just tweeted a tweet. That means it's a real thing. We are live. I am excited to be here on this lovely Tuesday. Can't believe we've been doing this many Tuesdays for as long as we have, and it is a joy, as always, to have you be with me as I sip coffee and sip the tea and the OG. Rhyming is a very, very important thing to have as a bard class. But I've got it. I've got it going on. Maybe. I'm not sure. How are you all doing there in the chats? I see Sir Papa Fox Tacos. I like you, sir. I wish I had some Super Fox Tacos right now for Taco Tuesday in my mouth holes, but instead I've got a soul coin that is going to go into my mouth holes. Just kidding! I didn't actually eat it or swallow it. I feel like I needed to reuse the GIF stuff there with some new branding. These are one of our newer D&D swag shirts out there. This one is one of my favorites. I love this one because it is retro but also modern because it's yellow. Everyone loves yellow. Yellow is good. I'm excited for all of you to receive some of these t-shirts at some point in the future. I know I teased a while back that we'd be doing giveaways, and this is a note to everyone out there. We should be doing some giveaways soon. But yes, hi, someone from the UK said hi. Hi, Ref Gemlin, good to see you. Yes, Pastor Plague, the soul I just ate was delicious. It is going to make me feel empowered. I will be driving my infernal war machine through Avernus because I am the infernal war machine, I guess, is what I'm going. My body is the infernal war machine. I'm grasping, but I'm allowing you to be along for the ride, everyone. So thank you for that. All right, I have a bunch of fun stuff to go through and talk about, as I always do. I will show you some things that are hot off the presses from our friends. WizKids has been knocking it out of the park, so I can't wait to show you some of the fun stuff they've got going on here. I've even got a fancy sticky note with release date details that I will be reading to you. And I showed off the box of this before on D&D News, but I will be opening this here box of Monster Madness for you to peruse and enjoy. This is a fantastic looking box, as you can tell from the artwork. Dungeon Mayhem, Monster Madness. It's an action-packed card game for 2 to 6 adventurers, which is fantastic. But I'll show you some of the components in there, as well as the awesome what are those called? The form things that hold the cards in place. It organized is what I'm trying to say. And as you know, if you have a lot of games and things fall over, if you do this, it's still going to be organized. At least I hope it is. I hope Shelley Mazanoble didn't mess me up, but I hope it shall be in fact still organized. I guess that'll be a test for all of you. I'll be opening up that in a little bit. For those of you throwing it out there, Jack just put it in the chat, but Monster Madness is coming out on February 28th. It is been delayed 2 weeks just because of production issues. There's a lot of components and things within there. Some things got slowed down from where they are being assembled. And rather than trying to rush it to market, we decided to just postpone the release date 2 weeks. It was going to be on February 14th, which we thought was a fantastic synergy with the fact that there is an amazing beholder right here that might double as your Cupid with your significant other. But you can still have that romantic evening in with 2 to 6 players when Monster Madness releases on February 28th. But not on February 29th, for that is a leap day. Yes, this year, 2020, is a leap year, in addition to being Olympics year, or Summer Olympics year, I should say. I'm not sure exactly where those are. Those going to be in in Athens this year. Where? I don't know. I don't know why I'm starting to talk about Olympics. You don't care about the sports right now. But 2020 is a red letter year for Dungeons and Dragons because it is the year of the double crits. And we're going to make that happen all year long. I also have some fun toys that I just like showing off. I'm going to get into that now because, why not? But my friend at Hyperion Terrain sent me this. And I've seen smaller versions of this, but I really like this large version. This is a healing potion that you can have at your table. It's such a great crafting type thing. But instead of always looking around for your D4s that match thematically how you can heal things, this is what you take. So you roll. Oh, I just got 5 + 2 points back of healing, and I just like the tactile kind of nature of this. So thank you to Shad Ross from Hyperion Terrain for making this for me, and it's got this really nice label that even has the 2d4 + 2 written on it in Sharpie, like you do. And I love it. So again, I've seen these before, but this was a really good form factor, and it's really great. And you can make that on your own right now if you want. I also wanted to show off. This is dirt from hell. That's right. It's from actually Hell, Michigan. So it is from the plane of hell in many ways. But this is it was a giveaway and a nice little promo item for folks who made it to Pip Yap Goes to Hell, a fun Adventurers League event in September of 2019, celebrating the release of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. And it's on my desk, and I don't think I showed it to you all yet, so I want to make sure you were able to see. I love this type of thing. When I was a friend of mine was traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast for film school. He went to Vancouver Film School. We were growing up in Connecticut. I went around our town and got samples not unlike this from various places, like the playground at his elementary school where he grew up, sand and ocean water from McCook's Point Beach in East Lyme, Connecticut, where we grew up, and a lot of other fun mementos, and put it in a box so that he could take the East Coast and his home with him to Vancouver. So I just think it's pretty cool that here we have this in hell, and yeah, maybe one day I'll bring it back to the plane of hell. What do you think? Yes, I got a bottle of dirt. What can you say? I'm a lucky guy. I don't know if it's worth its salt. Here it is. There's a bag of salt for you. I just keep this on my desk to season my food with. Also, some terrible things. All right, I wanted to get into talking about some fun things that were happening in the press. So here it is from PC Gamer, announcing a new RPG studio that Wizards of the Coast, that's right, this here company is founding in Austin, and it has some ex-BioWare vets on the leadership board there. Very exciting to have them working on some fun things. We can't really say anything really more than that. The name of the studio is Archetype Studios, and they got a really cool logo to it. But I've been seeing James Olin, the head of that studio, here in the offices since he was hired by Wizards of the Coast. And it's really cute since he worked on, I don't want to say cute, it was really cool that he was part of the original Baldur's Gate, that's right, from BioWare back in the late 90s. I believe that came out in 98. He was the lead designer on that there game, and so when we were going back to Baldur's Gate for Descent into Avernus, he created a PDF. It's available now on the Dungeon Masters Guild, I believe, with a bunch of material that he wrote and created with some of his designer friends, and it's pretty awesome. So James Olin is D&D and gaming DNA. It's within him, and I'm really excited about the projects that they will be working on from Archetype Studios in Austin, Texas, and you'll be hearing more about that in the years to come. But shout out to PC Gamer for writing that up, and it's right, it is a pretty hefty pedigree heading it up. Faux show. This is another one from Screen Ramp talking about Archetype Entertainment. They're developing a multi-platform sci-fi RPG. But I like this pull-out quote from them. There are few people better suited to helming this project than the mind behind so many classic games. That is very true. All of the above, and it is again just really heartening to have someone who has the life's blood of D&D within them as they're going forward. And you're right, TK. You will be able to romance every available NPC in that game. You heard it here first, folks. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I can't throw that out there, but it's true. But not UK. I can answer that question. We do. That's right. Wizards of the Coast has the rights to do D&D video games now. And it has been that way for the last few years. In fact, we are doubling down on involving a lot of Dungeons & Dragons games over the future. Most interestingly, Dark Alliance is slated for a 2020 release. That is a return to the hack and slash action RPGs of yore. You might remember from the Dark Alliance video games in the PS2 era. I think there was 2 in that series. As well as the ideas behind playing Gauntlet when you're a kid, as well as Diablo 2, like that type of I just want to go in there, kill as many monsters as possible with my friends, and the added bonus of playing Dark Alliance is that you get to play as the characters from R.A. Salvatore's books, The Legend of Drizzt. I was trying to put a possession apostrophe after Drizzt's companions, but yes, those are the 4 playable characters: Brunor, Battlehammer, Wolfgar, Catti-brie, Drizzt Do'Urden, which is pretty cool. And you have seen the trailer. We released that at the Game Awards last month, and we are excited about moving towards even more fun stuff, integrating the studio at Took Games in Montreal and creating Dark Alliance. They're busy working on it right now, and I can't wait to see the reaction when fans get to play it with their friends and just jump into slaying monsters together. Very good stuff. Reading a long bit of text here from New Banadus. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said there. So an immersive 5e experience. You name check some games here I think that are pretty cool. The simulated experience of an actual tabletop game is, I think, a little bit hard to pull off, but do I have the game for you? Baldur's Gate 3 is in development right now by Larian Studios, the studio behind Divinity Original Sin and Original Sin 2, some of the most popular and critically acclaimed, well received by critics on the scores for Divinity Original Sin. It's pretty great. So jump into that. Soon is going to be a prospect for many of you. I've been talking a lot with our friends at Larian. They've got a lot of news coming around PAX East, so look for some more information around then. But I'm very excited about it. I've seen some things, people, and I wish I could tell you more all about them, but it is really interesting, and is that depth of storytelling that you might get from a tabletop experience. Nothing will be as a one-to-one as the freeform nature of being able to improvise with your Dungeon Master, but I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to come really close to having a super deep, branching, story-driven narrative focused on recruiting characters into your party. Gather your party. It's going to happen. Looking at some more of these things. Yes, of course, there will be someone going for the eyes, but now UK. D&D Presents is on its way. It is being worked on as we speak and will be coming very soon. I don't have a specific date just now to announce, but you will be excited and delighted, I think, in the coming months. It is on its way. I don't have it, like I said, I don't have a specific date, and I don't want to nail it down to it right yet because there might be some things moving, but we are working on it. A lot of you might have seen on social media, the cast was here in the studio as well as in the building last week. They're all fantastic people, and I can't wait for the characters that they outlined in their PAX Unplugged panel. They're now more fleshed out and have some artwork surrounding it, so I can't wait to start introducing those characters to you over the next in the future. I want to say next few weeks, but it might be longer than that. So I don't. Yeah, exactly. As TK put down there in the chat, soon, TM. I get it. Yeah. Oh, should we get a PAX North in the Midwest going? I think that's a good idea. You might have even pitched that before, but I have a line. I might try to get it going. There are a lot of conventions already happening around those times, but you never know. PAX North is not a bad idea. Maybe it's in Canada. Maybe it's PAX Frozen North, or PAX Great White North. All right. I wanted to show you one more thing. This is a pretty cool image of some dice. I hear you like dice. Would you like some dice in your D&D? Here it is. Look at this in all of its glory. Some of the most favorite D20s out there. I love the artwork, not artwork necessarily, but the feeling within this plastic, as well as the choice of inks on them. They're still a little bit hard to read out there, but I want more and more dice to be around for people to check out. I like it. I like it a lot. Get me more dice out there. Maybe we should go to dice and make it happen. I also want to shout out some other fun stuff that is on the way for Dungeons and Dragons. We talked about these last year. I actually had them physically, but here is some images. Phone cases. These are available right now. You can get your fancy dancy phone case for iPhone in a lot of different amazing styles that you see here. These are by eCell. They're available on Amazon right now. There's hardbacks, there's hybrids, there's soft gel case designs for all types of iPhones. Those of you who have an electronic iPhone, you are in luck. I myself am waiting for the Android version of those, but we shall see. Joey Castaldo, I don't know if that's a positive or negative, but I will say Mac is also whack. As I was saying that, I'm like, yes, I also think it's whack, but I don't know if you mean whack as in good or whack as in bad. That means I am old. I think that's what that means. But I am excited for more and more Android phones to make the ampersands around, right? Can we get a witness? Everybody wants more ampersands out there. In fact, I'm going to give out a shout out to myself. One of my most, shall I say, engaged with tweets, that's what they say in the biz, has been one that I posted that I was just a throwaway kind of joke. Someone was saying that the ampersand, or the way that you have the stylized version of the ampersand, I'm trying to use words but it's not working, but it actually is an amalgam of E and T put together, and that's why et is the French word there. And I just quote tweeted someone and said Dungeons et Dragons, and ended up getting almost more engagement than anything else I've ever done. And I think it also had a typo in it or something. I don't know. Anything that you do, you're like, hey, this is just a throwaway tweet. It's amazing that those are the ones that people end up having the most response to. So trying to get that likes up to 1,000. So if you want to look back at my feed or see some of the most commented on things, check it out because it is pretty funny. I also have my cast fireball. That's my pinned tweet, which is also nearing 1,000 likes. If you might want to humor me and just give it a like out there on Twitter, I just like having things up to round numbers. Everyone likes leveling up, right? You all understand that. I want to get that 100, 1,000 experience points that I'm going to get from having a tweet that has 1,000 likes on it. Make me happen. Make it happen for me. Ligature, thank you, New Banadus. I was trying to find that word in my head, and that's why I was using my hand motions to try and come up. But ligature is a fantastic use of that word, and I love it. Thank you very much. Someone else was saying, I think it was Trick Jarrett from the Magic team, was saying that it used to be part of the alphabet. There used to be etc., and a couple other kind of symbols that were part of the alphabet that you learned, which is pretty neat. All right, I'm gonna go up a little bit and talk about some of the fun, amazing products that we've got coming down the pipe for you. We've got what's called Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's Kit. This pack has dice. It's got a box in it. It has all this stuff in it, in fact, that you can see with your own eyeballs. It's pretty cool. You can check it out. It will be available on March 17th. Tons of lore from Waterdeep and the Sword Coast. It has all of this blue motif that I find extremely attractive. The dice themselves are this iridescent blue shiny bits, and I love them. And this is going to be available, as I said, on March 17th in stores everywhere. It looks very similar in form factor to the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus dice set, and it is already flying off the shelves wherever it can. So check it, March 17th. On top of that, not to be confusing or anything, we also have, I don't think we even have any covers of this available. Dang it. Do we? I don't think we do. Well, is it in that? Is it in that? No. Wild Bangarang? No. All right. Well, we don't have any images of this, and I don't have anything to pull up, but we like to be confusing here at Dungeons & Dragons. So not only is Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's kit coming into stores on March 17th, but there will also be the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount coming on March 17th. That's right. You will be able to have a source book similar to the type of content that was available in Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica or Acquisitions Incorporated or Eberron, where it is a setting book, but also full of the mechanics that you need in order to bring it to life. All of the fun things that occur on Critical Role's second campaign, set on the continent of Wildemount in the setting of Exandria. It is a extremely thick tome. I think there's 324 pages within it. Here, if only I had this going forward. Yes, it's very large. There's new creatures in it native to Wildemount. There's an expansive Wildemount gazetteer description of some of the major factions, player options that include new classes, new subclasses, new spells, and a tool to help players deeply integrate their characters into the setting. I think that's some of the epic level things going on there. Thank you, Lady Tiefling, for 304 pages. Very large. I had to double check because 304 is not a typical page count for us here at Dungeons & Dragons, so it always messes me up. But the Critical Role cast is very excited about this book because it allows you, the Dungeon Masters and storytellers out there in the greater D&D community, not just the Critter community, to take parts of Matt Mercer's world and books, integrate them into your own campaigns, use them for story ideas that you can refresh your own campaigns with, and it's going to be very exciting. Some of the things that are cool about it are the spells and character classes, subclasses that have to do with probability. Dunamancy, the Echo Knight, which is a fighter subclass, is creating echoes of itself around, and I think those are really thematic and wonderful, and you will all be able to interpret them to your content on March 17th of this year. Can you believe it, people? That's like a week and a half or a month and a half away. Right, obtuse Anglos? You're speaking publishing language there by saying 19 signatures. Maybe you can explain it here in the chat. I won't necessarily take the explanation out of you, but the chapters, signatures is a publishing term, which is pretty cool. So kudos to obtuse Anglos for knowing all that. All right, it is 3:29, so that means it is time for D&D Rewind. That's right, this is the time in D&D news where I go in and don't press the button ahead of time, and it is time for D&D Rewind, where we go through and show you some of the best and amazing clips of role-playing over the whole week here on twitch.tv/D&D. So please check out this week's D&D Rewind with a proper introduction.
On the stage, Sky uses his skills to create a rippling torrent of waves that dance around a half-elven man with a bright smile as he leads into the next verse.
Our ship lies at anchor, she's ready to dock. I wish her safe landing without any shock. And if ever I should meet you by land or by sea, I will always remember your kindness to me. So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let's drink and be merry all out of one glass. Let's drink and be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may or might never all meet here again.
And I'm going to go back now to the umber wash, hit the hair as we talked about before. You can see right away how that brings back that texture in the hair. If I'm actually on camera. And again, allowing the umber wash to seep between the skin and the hair will give it a cool kind of line of delineation there. So we're going to let that dry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with some bone white. And we're going to mix that with leather brown again. And we're going to make a lighter kind of dry brush color that we can use for some of those patches and things here. That's the color I want. Wipe most of it off, and then I'm just going to do this very carefully over that patch there, and that will make that pop. I'm going to go around the edge of this. Being careful as much as possible not to get the bag. Probably is going to happen, but this will lighten it up significantly and kind of separate it from the rest of the background.
Wait, I think this is a test. I think it's a test.
You think it's a test?
I think it's a test.
I'm going to cast Speak with Plants and talk to this plant that's being sheared bonsai.
Sure.
It's just like,
I was about to do that. I was just about to do that. Get good.
oh no, it's okay, buddy. From cutting me. I mean, this guy's cutting everyone. Just think of a happy place. Think of like well, who are these guys?
I just wanted a lineup. He just keeps going.
Sharif, Corinne gets 11 back.
Sweet. Okay. All right. Cool.
Who are these guys?
These guys.
So, knowing that information, Winnegar, Ral looks at you. He's like, "Why are you being like this? Like, you know how important this is. Just like we can spend some time together after this is all through."
Okay. Fine. Okay, fine. I'll go. I love you. I go. Okay, bye. And then he's gonna like head out the door. He's gonna. I guess. God, every single time I get, but like, that's the thing.
You're at work. I will stop peer pressuring you into smooching. I'm sorry.
No, it's not even that. It makes me vulnerable to this guy's self. Like if I touch him, right? So like the first time I was kind of behind him and I got him from the side, but like if I smooch him face on, that could be the smooch that undoes me.
That's the name. That's the name of Winnegar's first acoustic blues album, "The Smooch That Undoes Me."
Yeah, I was trying to be Dr. Seuss. That's my new Dr. Seuss book, "The Smooch That Undoes Me."
We're a great show. We're great.
The wizard, the dark elf in long black robes, excitedly reaches his hands out. Everyone who is in front of him, which includes like Briv, who's near Briv.
Is he trying to cast a spell?
He is definitely casting a spell.
I would like to counterspell that, please.
Okay. What level are you casting at?
I will cast it at 4th, I guess.
Wow.
What if he was summoning like Hugs and Muffins?
Oh, Hugs and Muffins would be really nice.
True.
We still are waiting on that portal to the plane of ice cream and milkshakes.
Do they have Hugs and Muffins there too?
Just not getting that sense from a guy who rides a giant purple worm.
Valid. Valid.
Okay.
Who knows?
Second. And describe how you cast counterspell, like just what actions Alindra is taking.
I see him begin to cast the spell, And almost instinctually, I reverse those actions. And then I send it out at him, canceling any motions, any glyphs that he was creating in the air, the sounds that he was making. Just undoing.
That's cool. As a reaction, they themselves are casting counterspell.
Counterspell on the counterspell. Ooh.
And he immediately like stares at you and mirrors all the same motions that you are taking.
So cool.
And his version, his arcane runes are flying in the air, just explode past the ring of yours, and they disappear immediately. And he still casts his spell.
Man, this thing is it's crazy.
It is starting to show where.
Okay. Just now?
No, a little while ago, but it's starting to like crumble. Bits are starting to fall off.
Guys, come on!
Yeah, exactly.
We can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this.
It
or rather, you can do
opens
this.
its maw again and goes to bite down on Falfur.
No.
Poor Falfur. With advantage.
Oh, Falfur. We love you. Please.
What's your armor class again?
AC 14. I'm still stabbing his face.
Stab all the eyeballs.
His face
all
is
the balls.
so hard.
Stab
It's
the
made of
eyeballs.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, eyeball. Show yourself.
You take 9 points of piercing damage as it bites in your shoulder again, and an additional 6 points of acid damage. Falfur crumbles under its bite and goes limp in its jaw, and that is where we're going to end this, this evening. Welcome to Curse of Strahd, ladies and gents.
This is a clinic, man.
So good.
What? Oh my goodness. So many things to respond to in that amazing D&D Rewind. How many of you all were feeling Jennifer Kretschmer when Mr. Todd Kenrick does a counterspell on a counterspell? Woof. I was in her shoes where she was just like, are you serious? Because that was what you want in a, it's very rare to be able to use a counterspell effectively. She had it prepared, she had it ready to go, and then she's doing it, trying to disrupt what's happening. And I loved her description of her hand motions mirroring what the caster was doing, and then going back and forth. Whoosh! I was feeling you. I'm sorry, Jennifer. That stinks. But I'm sure you will persevere in the end. But I know what that's like. And then of course Jason Azevedo from Realmsmith, bringing some folks through what's happening in Curse of Strahd. Always a terrible thing. The Dr. Seuss from Winnegar is always appreciated. The Kiss That Undoes Him. I've been reading a lot of Dr. Seuss lately with my chitlins, so it is fresh on the tongue. Hop on Puff. Who would have thought Hop on Pop was really just about how hard it is to be a dad? Yeah, who'd have thought? But that's really what it is. Anyway, great all role-playing throughout all of those clips. If you would like to nominate one of your favorite shows or moments from the twitch.tv/D&D universe, you can do so by using the Twitch interface. Find the clip of what was really awesome, separate it out, tweet it out, let more people know about what happened during that clip. Our esteemed editor, Steve Sprinkles, will take all that information, choose the most amazing clip, and put them together for every week's D&D Rewind that I show off here around 3:30 or so every single week for D&D news. So the power is in your hands. I have some amazing fun stuff to talk through about Adventurers League as well as the Dungeon Masters Guild before I get into opening up some really fun stuff as in right here. And here I'll give you a little tease. I'll give you a tease of just the Post-it note. Can you read it? It says, available for pre-order now, on sale March 11th, 2020. What could it be? I don't know. I'll show you in a couple minutes. So let's talk about Adventurers League first. So Adventurers League is the D&D official play campaign, which means that you can create an Adventurers League character and take that character to any Adventurers League event and have it have level appropriate challenges and fun stuff happening through the Adventurers League content that is out there. New on the DM's Guild, there's some new and fun installments of the organized play campaigns. I'll get to talking more about what exactly DM's Guild is in case you're all not understanding it. But Oracle of War is the Eberron campaign, which is set in the setting. Trying to come up with another word for that, but it's set in the setting of Eberron that was created by an amazing person named Keith Baker. And it is now available through Eberron Rising from the Last War, a little book that you might have seen in stores or still see in stores right now. But this Oracle of War campaign is a compact season unto itself, and it allows people to play Adventurers League within it. The new installment is called Where the Dead Wait. This mini adventure was written by James Introcaso, and it is an adventure swarming with undead. So if you don't like those undeaders, you best go out and kill them all in Where the Dead Wait. Seek shelter, turn to the Oracle of War, but be ready for the unexpected. Some cool stuff there. There's also some new additions happening in the Avernus Rising campaign, which is colloquially referred to as Season 9. They are premiering this week at the Winter Fantasy Convention in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's an amazing convention put on by Bald Man Games. The titles of those 3 adventures are The Breath of Life, The Swarmed Heart, and The Vast Emptiness of Grace. Very evocative names. I want to talk to that Grace and ask her, or ask them why their emptiness is so vast. Some fun things on the conventions. GadCon is a new convention that I would like to learn more about. They are premiering those 3 Avernus Rising adventures along with 3 CCC adventures. Now that's an acronym that is very hard to say, but I'll say it again, CCC. I believe that's convention-created content that is written special for that show. You can find out how to DM at GadCon at warhorn.net. There's also lots of fun other conventions running Adventurers League games, and you can find out all about that at conmap.dndadventurersleague.org. And you can find that there is an amazing con called OrcCon in Los Angeles and Total Confusion in New England, which are opening this month. As a former denizen of New England, I am excited to hear about more gaming conventions in that area. It was not a part of my growing up in that area, and I'm hoping I can instill a lot of younger New Englanders that it is a-okay to jump in and have fun with all that thing. Now, I guess that's my job, but it's also really important for people to jump in and have fun in New England, just in general. It's a hard place to have fun in. We need more Adventurers League photos. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Everybody out there, send in your photos for the Adventurers League from all over the world. Let's do an open call. Get it out there. Even if you don't have any photos of what's going on in your town with Adventurers League, make sure you tell everyone on social media to send their pictures along with a little blurb of where they were playing and who is involved to community@dndadventurersleague.org. Anything that you're comfortable to share, I will read aloud here on D&D News. I like showing off different game stores, different locations of people playing Dungeons & Dragons from all over this fine earth. So please make that happen. I want this Prime Material plane to be represented. And if you have pictures of people playing on other planes, I'd love to see those too. But I want to show them off here. We've had a shortage of photos over the last 2 weeks for D&D News. So this is my second entreaty to get out there, submit to community@dndadventurersleague.org. Do it now! Dungeon Master Guild. Hey, let's talk about that. It lets you publish your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition creations for fun and for a little bit of profit. You can platform. It is the only platform where you can publish adventures, supplements within the Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Ravnica, other wizard settings using their heroes, and more. There is no photos for me to show right now, but there is a bit of an update here for folks who have been following along. Dungeon Masters Guild and the sister site Drive Through RPG have raised, this is amazing and incredible, they have raised so much money in support of the disaster relief for the fires that are going on in Australia right now. $190,000 raised to help support the communities who have been stricken by the fires in Australia. One of those was the updated Blood Hunter class from Matt Mercer, which was just released last week. And you can still go right now, donate, and get some great Dungeons and Dragons material that you can use in your game. We're not asking you to donate and get nothing in return. You get this amazing bundle of non-stop D&D content that's out there. So we really want to push that amount up over 200,000 raised for this great cause. What are you waiting for? Go to dmsguild.com/promo.php. What did PHP stand for? Sounds like paranormal hit points. I don't know. Paramus, New Jersey hit points. Anyway, really exciting stuff, and I applaud all of the work that folks in the Dungeon Masters Guild community do just in general in creating amazing and creative content. But I love when they band together for these amazing causes and spread the good word about what's happening there. So I like it. All right, I've teased it enough. I'm going to show you what's really happening here. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go with the one that I talked about with this post-it note here. So important information. These are on sale March 11th. You can pre-order now. But this box is pretty darn cool. This is the Icons of the Realms for Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, Arkan the Cruel, and the Dark Order. That's right. These are individual pre-painted miniatures of all of the crew that hangs out with Arkan the Cruel in the Tower of Tiamat, or near the Tower of Tiamat in Avernus. The Arkan the Cruel miniature is up here. It looks really great. You may recognize Arkan the Cruel as being the creation of Joe Manganiello, the actor and D&D luminary behind Death Saves. It was his character. It starred on Force Grey. His character showed up in Critical Role. He's created this whole crew around him, including Chango, the Manticore, which I believe was given to him by Matt Mercer in a one-shot, and it just kind of continued through. Here is an evil turtle. I'm forgetting his name, but you don't see a lot of representations of turtles. You got Toragar, Steelfist right here, the Minotaur, and Arkan's Berserkers, a representation of them here. So this is, as I said, available for pre-order right now, and it will be available March 11th, 2020. Yeah, good stuff. I actually really like the Chango sculpt for the Manticore. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the 5th edition Manticore looks a little bit too like creepy, but in an uncanny valley way creepy. And this one at least has a much more of a face that you could tell would be in a terrible looking creature. So I applaud the resculpt there. And yeah. Oh, and one cool thing to note, Arkan the Cruel in this sculpt has the hand of Vecna on his hand. I don't know if you can tell from this shot right here, but that green hand of Vecna is there and in canon, and is pretty darn cool, as well as his awesome axe. I believe Joe brought a replica of the axe to one of our D&D events. It might have been Waterdeep Dragon Heist, if I'm remembering correctly. So the physical representation of that axe actually exists, and I can't wait for folks to check that out. So I believe you can pre-order this at your local game stores. That might be the best way to do it. You can pre-order it through Amazon or any other kind of digital distribution out there, but I suggest you go to your local game store and let them know that you want this product, you want this, and they will make sure to order enough for you out there right now. Tony is Bob. Totally agree with you. The new Tiamat is definitely on my list, especially as it's being shown, so prominently in Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. I really wish Tiamat had an updated in stock miniature. So let's make it happen if you can. All right, so that was that thing. I also want to let you know from our friends at WizKids, we have Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. This is a Behir Behir, a terrible looking creature that no one likes or wants to have with them. But the cool part about Nolzur's marvelous miniatures line is that they are made for painting. That's right. Even though this is unpainted, it is got the detail within it and already pre-primed so that you can just put color right on top of it and it will accept it. And this is a terrible, terrible Behir. Behir. We've also got a bay. You heard the Behir. Can I interest you in a Balor? That's right. You need Balor. I'm thinking of like a Balor joke, but I can't really think of it. Don Balor. He was a left fielder for the Red Sox in the 80s. Remember him? Anyway, this is not Don Balor. This is like Bob Balor. And you can paint him to your heart's content. It should be great. We are going to give this to you, Jack. No worries. So these are coming soon if they're not out already. And I suggest if you were inspired by Jason Azevedo from Realmsmith painting on the D&D Rewind that we just watched, jump into these. These are a big way to do it. This way you're not having to start with something that's really small and has specialized brushes, but you can get the fix of decorating these to your heart's content. And I wish you would. Please make it so. Okay, finally, I want to show you this amazing box from Dungeon Mayhem, Monster Madness. Again, I shook this up all over town, and I want to show you just how. This is the real good quality cardboard. Wait, hold on. I just watched Roger Rabbit, or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so I'm trying to see if anybody can do a shave and a haircut. 2 bits. Thank you, Lauren. Obo Crazy, you're making things happen. Obo Lauren. Thank you, Obo Lauren. So this is the instruction sheet for how to play Dungeon Mayhem. I love that it is a family-friendly, easy way to get into the game. They also have how to play 5 to 6 player rules, but as I've said to Shelly many a time, what if someone comes up with 7 player rules? What then? What's going to happen? But I really just love how they tell you all of the amazing character decks that are included within here. I'm going to do you some close-ups here so you can see what the backs of the cards look like. Lord, here, come on. Hoots Magoots, Dr. Tentaculus, Blorp, Delilah Deathray, Mimi Lachase, Lord Cinderpuff. Those are amazing. I am a big fan of Delilah Deathray. I really like Blorp because he just wants to give people a hug. You have this box within your. Let me actually show you what the inside looks like because it is glorious. If you like things that are well organized and will stay in their their spot, you're gonna love this pack. All 12 decks, all 12 of the decks that are currently released for Dungeon Mayhem can fit in this box. So that includes the base game with 4, the 2 expansion character decks for Battle for Baldur's Gate, and the 6 that are included within Monster Madness. Now again, the base game and the expansion packs are not included in here, but there is space for you to store them all in this box together. Again, here's a little smaller box for you to take care of all the chits. The artwork for all of the characters, so there they are, the 4 that shipped with the base game, the 2 from Battle for Baldur's Gate, and then the 6 on the back there. From this game, and you might say it's overkill, but then I like that this doubles as like a little backpack, so you can take decks with you on the go, and these will actually fit 2 decks within them. So if you just want to take an on-the-go pack with you with 2 decks that you can play one-on-one to kill some time, those of you who have kids out there know exactly what I'm talking about to try to bring some fun along with you. And then here I'm not going to go through every single new character deck, but I do want to show some of the amazing artwork. This was actually the deck that I play tested when I was play testing Monster Madness. That's the back of the card, so you can see these are the character cards for Lord Cindersnap. For those of you who don't know how to play Dungeon Mayhem, I can teach you in like 1 minute. And it's basically you play the 1 card per turn, you draw a card, and you resolve what happens based on the icons up here. So in this case, you would heal yourself for 1 damage and then take another action. That's what the lightning bolt. And it's an eviler sneer. You could take a peaceful nap. And then by virtue of that nap, you then can draw 3 cards, which is what those symbols represent. What I like about this red dragon and how it is thrown out here is that it's not a typical just red dragon. This one is a capitalist, robber baron type of characterization of a red dragon, which I think is really cool. And that's investment opportunity is a perfect example of that. This is the type of literature that Lord Cindersnap is into. The wisdom of ages. Make money, eat people. I think that's a pretty good thing. When you want some defense around you, what do? You create a wall of money, different than a money bin. But in this case, this symbol allows you to take the damage on this card before you take the damage yourself. So it's like a protector. And if the wall of money was not enough, you also have a mob of lawyers and the minions of the red dragon to deal with. You also have some servants. You have some people that are helping you out. Kobolds are often known for helping out red dragons. So you have your kobold maid. This one allows you to absorb 1 damage, but then it also does 1 damage as you play it. I have an ancient anger. I am so mad that we're losing profits. Tooth and Claw is, of course, your standard dungeon dealing one out there. You can have a wing buffet. Ooh, a wing buffet. That seems kind of terrible. Maybe he's actually eating some of his things there. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to interpret that card. A bull market. That's what happens, and you're able to take 2 extra actions when you play this card. And then there's also some really special abilities that each character deck has, and so these are some of them. Murders and acquisitions. I'm not gonna leave these up long enough for you to get this text, but I do want to get out the artwork for them because they're pretty cool. Liquidate your assets. Discard your hand and do damage equal to the number of cards that you've discarded. And this is always the fun one. It's a hostile takeover. You do damage to all opponents, 2 damage on one opponent, and then another damage on a different opponent. So you can do a whole lot of damage very quickly. And then, of course, this is the life tracker that you have. You only have 10 life per character. And this is your little cheat sheet for what these symbols do. So essentially what I just did is all you need to tell your players as you're getting ready to play Dungeon Mayhem. It's all right there. This is one of the characters that comes with Monster Madness, which you can find in stores everywhere on February 28th. Look for it. I'm really impressed with it. The form factor is fantastic. I want to give a shout out to Shelly Mazanoble for making all of this available to you, as well as to Trish Yoakum, our graphic designer, who took all of the amazing artwork from the artist, which I'm blanking on the name right now. I always forget, but I want to make sure and give it to shout out Cam Kendall. Cam Kendall did the artwork for this. But Trish Yoakum takes all the artwork from Cam Kendall and designs it and puts it onto these amazing products. And I just love the detail of having the box that is containing these have as much flavor and power as all of the outside artwork does too. So again, Monster Madness, it's upside down. Monster Madness coming out very soon. I'm going to do it on this side so I can actually have it over my head. Coming out again, February 28th. Look for it. I'll be touting this from the rooftops all month long, maybe even playing some quick games if someone wants to join me, and it is very cool. February 28th is not that far away. That's only 24 days away, people. You will be able to get it very soon. I can't wait. All right, everyone, it is 4 o'clock. I am out of here. Thank you for being a big part of my week each week. You're wonderful. I want you to enjoy the rest of your week. Roll some dice, slay some monsters, and make sure you spread good with you wherever you go. If you're good, you know. But if you're chaotic good, I don't know, maybe eat the rich. You know, I think Lord Cindersnap could be eaten a little bit. I think that'd be really cool. All right, everybody, give me a follow on Twitter. Thank you to everyone who has liked the tweets that I talked about. I saw that during the break of watching D&D Rewind. So thank you to that. Hopefully we get up above 1,000 for both of those tweets. Oh, and speaking of Twitter, one thing I do want to announce as a shout out to myself. This is a little bit, I'm not very good at self-promoting, but I will say that there is a cool podcast that I was interviewed on called Character Count. It is the official Twitter business podcast, and the host, Joe Wadlington, talked to me here in the D&D offices about all the ways that Dungeons & Dragons has used Twitter in the past, as well as how Wizards of the Coast has boosted and promoted tweets for the brand and what that all means. And I hopefully brought a lot of enthusiasm to that interview, but I also really love the creative ways that people can use Twitter, and I hope more people and more brands jump in on those things. So give it a listen. It's called Character Count. It's available wherever you download podcasts. It's a rare time to get me on someone else's podcast talking about what's going on in the Twitter universe. This weekend, we got, or rather this Friday, we've got a couple of great interviews coming up for Dragon Talk. I can't wait to reunite with Shelly Mazanoble. It was her birthday the last week, so she took that week off. I had a great conversation with Kate Welch and with Morgan from Morgaine, I will say. She was fantastic. Look for that episode of Dragon Talk to come out on Thursday, but you can watch the VOD right now, and it's pretty cool. All right. Enough saying shameless self-promotion. I'm going to get back to your regularly scheduled day right about now. Bye, everybody. Thank you again.